Hello, and welcome to Shortcut Up CNC. Today we're going to create this entire project right here. It's splitting the M with putting the names in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save this project so we can come back to it if we ever have to. And I'm going to say name project. And let's go project M. Okay, so that's been saved. We can come back to it if we ever have to. So let's close this, and we're going to create a new file. 12 by 12, 0.75 thickness, material surface. We're going to use the center as our XY datum, and we're going to say OK to that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go get the letter M. Let's see, we're not going to use the brush script. Let's use Microsoft Sans Serif. We're going to make it a capital M, and it's going to be bold, and we're going to make it 6 inches. Now we're going to center that. Now, normally your aligning features are in this area here. What I've done with my particular situation is I've checked off this so that it's the common alignment tools are on my drawing tab. It makes it very convenient having them right there on the drawing tab. I can center, move things around without having to go to this box to open it up and get those. But anyway, there we have our M. So now we have to split this M. So what I need is a rectangle. I'm going to put a rectangle right there, 6 by 1.5. And it's already there, so I don't have to hit the word apply. Now we're going to center that to the project. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to cut these away from this area here. But in order to, you notice it's not allow, it won't, well, it won't allow me to cut those items. That's because the letter M has not been converted. It needs to be converted to curves. Once you convert it to curves, you're allowed to cut these areas from it. So now we've cleared this area. And I want to take and this is all on layer 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this, put this on a new layer. Let's see. Okay, right click, and then you go say new layer, and we're going to say text box. And we don't want it visible right now because we don't need it, but it's on layer 1, so we delete it from layer 1. And now what we need to do is close all these off so they're closed vectors. So we'll take this, hold down the shift key and get that, and then we'll do this straight line tool twice. Then we'll highlight these two again rather than using the shift key, and then we'll go get this twice, highlight this, hit that, highlight these two, hit this twice, highlight these, and then hit that. Now we have our M created with the blank space in between. We need to bring the text box back. we just go to the layer and bring it into view. And we'll need to create a new layer because that's going to be for our text that goes in between. So now we'll be on that layer typing our text. So we go to the text and we change this to brush script, and we don't want it 6 inches, more like 1 inch should be plenty. And we're going to put in there Carol and James. Now you notice it's pretty big, so we don't want the bold. We need to take that and move it down some. While we're still in the text tool, let's try 0.75. Now that fits pretty good inside that box. Now we can center it to the box or we can center it to the project. Right now it's highlighted. I'll center it to the project and it looks pretty good. It doesn't need to be centered to the box. And see, it's on, the text is on its own layer. If I turn the other two layers off, you'll notice there it is all by itself. Bring the text box in, and then we bring in our M. So there we have everything created. We no longer need the text box. So we can turn that off and we highlight one of these others so that we can create our toolpath next. So let's create the toolpath now. Let's see, our text box. I turned off the wrong one. There we go. Now we're good. Even I can make mistakes. So I'm just human like everybody else. So let's create some toolpaths. We're going to go ahead and turn off layer 2, which is our text. In fact, let's rename this uh, name. Okay, we're going to go to this one and rename it. It's going to be letter M. Okay, so letter M and the text box. I mean, not text, James. That's what we want. We don't need the text box. All right, so we got those highlighted. Now we go create toolpaths. We want to put a light cut in each one of these segments of the M. So we're going to use a pocket tool. We're going to use the offset. We're going 1.125 deep, and we're going to use an end mill, 125. We could use a much bigger end mill. In fact, we could use both, one for the clearing it out and the other to clean it up. So we'll rearrange the order. Let's see, 2.5, okay, and then the 1.25. That's perfect. All right, and that my data for the toolpath should be okay. So we don't need to mess with. You'll have to do that on your own tools. Adjust them for your machine. So we use this as offset. And we're going to go down here and we're going to do a little something that most people don't. They'll just highlight these. If you use the automatic vector selection, that's the reason I put them on separate layers, is you can use this tool here. We select a closed vectors, and then we select all closed vectors and select layers only. So we want the letter M. Notice it highlights all the segments of the letter M. That's because I chose the layer M, letter M. Now I associate that with the toolpath. and I close that. Now let's go to the preview and we'll calculate the tool path. And there you see the cutout of what it's actually going to do. It's going to have a clear, and then cleans it up by running a smaller one around the inside of the profile. So let's preview that. Let's see, preview all tool paths. It's only those two. And there you see it's cut. And the first one, it went around here, and the other one went just around the outside edges to clean it up. Now, to add some color to this, we go to this box, and we do it to both of those tool paths. That way, it does to both tool paths. So there we have our M. Now we go back to the 2D view, and we'll click in here, and we'll go click here, save and close. Now we're going to leave the names. That's fine. Now we're going to do a V-carve for the text. We're going to use a 30-degree bit because that's rather tight letters and everything. And of course, these letters could be cleaned up, but it's not really necessary because V-carve will carve through that, and you'll see that in just a minute. Okay, we got all that. Now we're going to do the vector selector and try to make it an automatic thing. These are not all closed vectors, even though they have intersections and all. And the layer we want is the names layer. And notice it highlighted once I clicked on it. Now we say associate to toolpath and then close that. We calculate the toolpath and boom, there it is. Now we can preview that and you see it carves it beautifully. Now to give it a little color, we'll change it to red. Let's see if we could bring something up that might, yeah, there we go. You can see it a lot better. We'll make it green. There you have it. You got your letter with your names carved inside the letter. And all I did was create layers for each item. And then we created the name to go in between the segment of the M. And of course, these names can be changed easily because we created well, we haven't created it yet, but you can create this by just right clicking on it, say copy to new layer, and you change this to master names. And we do not want to see it visibly. It's just a master copy. Now, the master copy, to easily change the name, all you need to do is go to layer 1 first and highlight the ones you don't want anymore. And now we go to layer master name and make sure you're on that layer active. And then you go to the text box and highlight highlight the names. There you go. Now you can change the names it's best to highlight the names before you go to the text box, and that way it'll automatically be here for you to be able to change. We'll change it to Carol and James. Ah, we forgot the L. And there you got your Carol and James. Now you close this, recalculate your tool pass, and of course something happened with the that's because we're on the master names. We weren't on names, so what it did is it copied it back. So what I need to do to fix that, see, like I said, even I can make mistakes. We'll take one of these, we'll copy it back to the names layer. Okay, now you go back and make sure you're on that layer whenever you recalculate toolpaths. And of course, probably, okay, we're already in the automatic selector, so we can also, you can either recalculate it there or recalculate it here. And there we have the situation rectified. So there you have it with the names changed by having the names on a master copy. And the master copy, you copy it to the names layer, and then you make sure your names layer is active before you recalculate. My mistake was I left it the active layer as master name. So what it did is it erased this one and put it back. Ended up with two copies on master names. So there you have it, a project. And I even had a bonus there. I showed you how to change the names within. There is another video with this same project, and all it does is show you how to change the names. So thank you for watching Shark Cut Up CNC.